Imagine when we're walking down the street, we could see into people's stomachs. What would we find there? Well, there would be ultra-processed foods. Everything from pizza to fake meat. Then there would be food shellacked with glyphosate and every pesticide. All of this served up with a chemical preservative garnish. And of course, as a side dish, there would be GMOs. At no time in human history have the foods that people eat been as removed from nature. Let's look at the things from the viewpoint of natural healing. Its premise is that wrongful feeding is the prime cause of illness. This goes back at least to Maimonides, the mighty thinker and physician who over 700 years ago wrote, "No disease that can be treated by diet should be treated with any other means." Americans not only eat a preponderance of processed foods, but 60% of it is ultra-processed. Examples include breakfast cereals, pizza, chicken nuggets, soda, chips and snacks, packaged baked goods, microwavable frozen meals, instant soups, sauces, and much, much more. They contain unnaturally high amounts of sugar, salt, processed industrial oils, and unhealthy fats. Excess sugar consumption is especially destructive, as it's a gateway to obesity and diabetes. My favorite is fake meat. Don't you love it? Ultra-processed, contaminated with glyphosate, made with genetically engineered soybeans, oozing a red-colored chemical, genetically engineered to resemble blood. Anything, it seems, for mouthfeel. Unbelievably, almost 80 million Americans, 42% of the population, are obese, and another 30% are overweight. Along with the waves of depression and suicides, is it any wonder that disease sweeps through a population as imbalanced as this? Sure enough, in a study just out, it says that 42%, nearly half of patients hospitalized due to the virus, are obese. That's right, nearly half. In our opinion, the pandemic is one of many. There is the pandemic of cancer, the pandemic of heart disease, the pandemic of high blood pressure, the pandemic of diabetes, the pandemic of obesity, the pandemic of depression, and the pandemic of suicide. All stem, in our opinion, from a profound imbalance in how we eat, how we live and how we relate to one another. And this is reflected in the latest data that show that U.S. life expectancy has declined over the past 2 years. That's right, life expectancy is falling in this country. Tragically enough, this troubling decline is largely driven by deaths from drug overdose and suicide. That is why we maintain that the virus is but a symptom of a deeper, more profound illness. It's a malady of the soul, a disease of the spirit. But instead of using this as an opportunity for the healing and renewal that we so desperately need, all one hears about are face masks, lockdowns, and vaccinations. The masks and the distancing are as best superficial stopgap measures. But what about the vaccines? Is that going to solve our problems? A vaccine works by training the immune system to recognize and combat pathogens, whether viruses or bacteria. It awakens the immune system to respond to a specific pathogen. But remember, pathogens are not just sitting around, they're mutating all the time. It is said that the current virus has already mutated into 30 variants. A vaccine does not and cannot in any way address underlying conditions like obesity, cancer, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and gallstones. These make you more vulnerable to illnesses caused by viruses or bacteria. Thus, a vaccine is in a sense as superficial as a face mask. Even if it is in some sense effective against pathogen A, you can be sure that pathogen B and pathogen C are waiting in the wings to make their debut. May I suggest, brothers and sisters, that we see the pandemic as an opportunity to get back to a diet more and more alive. An opportunity to cleanse and recreate ourselves via intermittent fasting. An opportunity to emerge from this more rhythmic, more flowing via vigorous exercise. To get back to the victory gardens that people planted during World War II. Imagine, in 1943, backyard gardens produced 40% of the vegetables consumed in America. Let's then get together with friends and neighbors and plant a victory garden. So many people out there would love the opportunity to get hands and feet in this earth. So let's get together and plant a garden to celebrate the vitality at our roots. A victory garden for the American spirit.